Good day once again. Mr. Tabo Mahupa again on security training. Today I'm going to present or deliver the last module, the last theoretical module, which is module 8, grade D, titled Legal Aspects 1. If you remember in grade E, we did basic legal aspects, where they were teaching us about crime, the definition of crime, the requirements for registration as a security officer to the board, as well as the reasons of withdrawal after you have been registered, which can cause your deregistration due to misconduct and so on. Then we also did powers of arrest, manner of effecting an arrest. That was in grade E. So this is just an extension. So they call this one legal aspects 1. All right. So in legal aspects 1, we're going to be covering a lot of acts or a lot of actions that can constitute criminal offenses, as well as also the articles that the state may seize. Right. Let me begin now with the aim of this module. The aim of this module is to define the legal rights of security officers in terms of arrest, searching, and custody within the framework of the law. So which means we have to be following law procedures in our operations. Let's say you arrest somebody, you have to follow the procedures and the acts which constitute criminal offenses. We must also be aware of that. Right, so that is the aim of the module. The objectives of this module. Number one, you must be able to know and define what is crime, because that is what we are dealing with on a daily basis. Number two, you must know the articles which the state may seize in terms of Section 20 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977. It's 3 articles there. We're going to do that. All right. Then you must know the actions that can constitute a criminal offense in relation to motor vehicles. That is Section 1231 and 2 of the Road Traffic Act 29 of 1989. Right. Then you must know also that is number 4, the Section 1 of the General Law Amendment Act 50 of 1956, which is unauthorized use of another's property, which means you take somebody's property and use it for your own use without the consent of the owner. It also constitutes a criminal offense. Then lastly, I think we have the Section 36 of the Criminal Procedure Act 62 of 1950. That is possession of suspected stolen goods. If you can't give reasonable account, if you cannot account reasonably for the possession, you are likely to be charged with theft. Right, those are the objectives. I think there are 6 of them. Let's start now with crime. We did crime also in grade E, the definition of crime. Crime is any unlawful human conduct punishable by the state, full stop. 2 marks. That is your question 1. Define crime, or what is crime? You just say crime is any unlawful human conduct punishable by the state, finish. Right. The second part now, we're dealing with the 3 articles which the state may seize. These are the things that if the police find you in possession of those things, they'll be confiscated, they'll be taken by the police. So when they say the police took them, it's the state, because when it goes to court, it will be you against the state, because you are arrested by the police, which are an arm of the state. Right. These three articles that the state mentions: number one, articles concerning the commission of crime; two, articles which may afford evidence in the commission of crime; three, articles which are intended to be used in the commission of crime. Those are the three articles. When they say articles concerned in the commission of crime, it simply means to say somebody stole a chocolate slab or a big box of fasteners. Then they find it in his possession, or it was hidden in the body during a search. The security take it and then arrest the person. When the police come, they write a statement to say, this is the person and this is the clue or the exhibit. That is articles contained in the commission of crime. Number two, articles which may afford evidence in the commission of crime. This same box of fasteners is going to be taken to court so as to afford evidence in the commission of that crime. All right. Then number three, articles which are intended to be used in the commission of crime. Many a time we heard that there was a roadblock. The police catch a car with 4 occupants or 6 occupants. There were a lot of guns in the trunk or in the boot, which those guns are illegal firearms, which means possibly they were going to commit a crime. So they confiscate those articles and take them to court, say, we found them with these unlicensed firearms in their vehicle at a roadblock. So it makes them suspects eventually. What were they going to do with their illegal firearms? Meaning to say they were going to commit a crime using the same firearms. So that is now articles which are intended to be used. They haven't been used yet, but they are intended to be used in the commission of a crime. Those are the three articles, which brings us to your second question, which says list the three articles that the state may seize. One, articles contained in the commission of crime; two, articles which may afford evidence in the commission of crime; and three, articles which are intended to be used in the commission of crime. Those are the three articles that they are talking about there. Then let's leave that done and dusted. Let's do now the section 1 of the General Law Amendment Act 50 of 1956, which is unauthorized. It's titled Unauthorized Use of Another's Property, which means you are using somebody's property without the consent or permission of the owner. It goes like this: any person who, without a bona fide claim or right and without the consent of the owner or any other, therefore removes any property from the control of the owner or any other person competent to give such consent, whether or not he intended throughout to return the property to the owner, unless it is proven that such person at the time of removal had reasonable grounds for believing that the owner of such person would give consent to such use if he had known about it, shall be guilty of an offense. So if you take somebody's property without the consent or permission of that person and you use it, even if you were willing to be returning it at any given time, unless it is proven, if it is not proven, you will be guilty of theft. So the question on that section 1 of the General Law Amendment Act 50 of 1956, they will give you the whole paragraph and then you have to fill in the missing words. So it goes like, any person who, without a bona fide claim or right and without the consent of the owner, therefore removes any property from the control of the owner or any other person competent to give such consent, shall, unless it is proven, whether or not he intended throughout to return the property to the owner, shall, unless it is proven that such person at the time of removal had reasonable grounds for believing that the owner of such person would have consented to such use if he had known about it, shall be guilty of an offense. So there are words that they omit there and give you blank spaces, then you just have to fill it. But I'll give you the tip off when we come to the final examination part. That is what we call Section 1 of the General Law Amendment Act 50 of 1956, unauthorized use of another's property. All right. Let's do now the possession of suspected stolen goods. That is Section 36 of the Criminal Procedure Act 52 of 1977. They say any person who is found in possession of any goods, any person who is found in possession of any goods other than stock or produce, for which there is reasonable suspicion that they have been stolen, and is unable to give satisfactory account of such possession, shall be guilty of an offense. That is Section 36 of the General Law Amendment Act. Any person who is found in possession, which means if you have got something on you, right? Any goods other than, except stock. What is stock? Livestock, or produce, which is vegetable, greens. So if you are found in possession, it says any person found in possession of any goods other than, except livestock and fruit and veg. Anything else, if you are found in possession of that, to which there is reasonable suspicion that it has been stolen, and is unable to give satisfactory account for such possession, shall be guilty of an offense. That is Section 36 of the General Law Amendment Act, which means if you are found with such goods and you cannot give sufficient account of such possession, you shall be guilty of an offense. They give you the whole paragraph, and then they leave blank spaces they omit certain words which you must just fill in. And we're gonna do that when we come to the final examination of them. All right, let's go now to Section 123. 123, 1 and 2 of the Road Traffic Act 29 of 1989. This is basically what they call car theft, right? Section 1231, it's two sections. We've got 1231 and 1232 of the Road Traffic Act 29 of 1989. Section 1231 clearly stipulates that any person who, without reasonable cause and without the permission or consent of the owner of the vehicle, does these things, the following things, shall be guilty of an offense. 1, enter or climb upon such vehicle. 2, put it in gear. 3, number 2, start the vehicle. You can't put it in gear before you start. And then 3, put it in gear. 4, tamper with any accessories and equipment. 5, drive it on a public road, shall be guilty of an offense. So any person who, without reasonable cause and without the permission or consent of the owner of the vehicle, number 1, he enters or climbs upon such a vehicle. 2, start the vehicle. 3, put the vehicle in gear. 4, tamper with any accessories and equipment within the vehicle. 5, drive it on a public road, shall be guilty of an offense. So those are the 5 actions that are illegal in relation to motor vehicles. Because this section deals specifically with motor vehicles. Section 123 of the Road Traffic Act 29 of 1989. That is car theft or vehicle theft. Then section 1232 says, if you ride or drive a motor vehicle without the consent or permission of the owner or person in lawful charge, you shall be guilty of an offense. So even if I hitchhike a lift in a stolen car, I'm also part of the crime. I think that is all for today. That is legal aspects 1, which is grade D. I just hope you benefited a lot. Let's go now and do a recap with the questioning, the expected questions. Question 1 says, defines crime. The answer is, crime is any unlawful human conduct punishable by the state. Question 2 says, list 3 articles which the state may seize. Number 1, articles concerning the commission of crime. 2, articles which may afford evidence in the commission of crime. 3, articles which are intended to be used in the commission of crime. Right. Question 3, and it says, fill in the missing words. Under Section 1 of the General Law Amendment Act 50 of 1956, unauthorized use of another's property, which says any person who, without a bona fide claim or right and without the consent of the owner or person in lawful charge, therefore removes any property from the control of the owner or any other person competent to give such consent, whether or not throughout he intended to return the property to the owner, shall, unless it is proven that the owner or such person would have consented to such use if he had known about it, shall be guilty of an offense. That's where now the blank spaces come, which I'll give you in the final examination session. Right. Then question 4, it says, list, fill in the missing words also. That is now section 36 of the General Law Amendment. It says, any person found in possession of any goods other than stock or produce to which there is reasonable suspicion that they've been stolen and is unable to give satisfactory account of such possession shall be guilty of an offense. It's also having blank spaces where you must fill in, which I'll give you in the final examination part. Right. Then question 4, it says, list 5 actions which are illegal in relation to motor vehicles. Right. Which is number 1, enter or climb upon such vehicle. 2, start the vehicle. 3, put the vehicle in gear. 4, tamper with any accessories and equipment. 5, drive it on a public road. Thank you very much for today's session. I hope you enjoyed this session. Right. Before I close it, module 9, it's a practical, because it's supposed to be 9 modules. We have done 8 so far. Module 9 is a practical module, which is called self-defense and minimum force, where precisely practically I told you those 2 modules, self-defense and minimum force, as well as discipline, I'm going to do when I finish EDC. Now we are going to see. When we're done with C, then I do those practical modules. So self-defense and minimum force, it's like the tactics to use in an armed combat. Right, where you use batons, we are taught how to punch, to do thrusts, blockings, and so on. But I'm gonna do it practically and also shoot a video for that. Discipline is about salute, right turn, left turn. I'm gonna also do that separately. The 2 of them, I'll have to do them one day. Do the demonstrations practically, and I'm gonna shoot also videos for them. All right, so we've come to the end of our grade D, which had 9 modules. Hope you gained a lot of knowledge from this. And my next installment will be grade D final examinations. And then there are some students who requested me online to say they want the progress tests. So after I'm done with grade D final examination, I'm also gonna bring the progress tests, which are done from grade E to C. So I'm gonna do E and D, the progress test, because every day we do about 3 to 4 modules. Then the following day, before we start the modules of the day, people write the previous day's modules as a practice, which is what we call progress test 1. On day 2, the same thing. Day 3, progress test 3. Day 3, the same thing. Day 4, progress test 3. Then from there is the final, which is on day 5. So I'm going to do also those progress tests. There are people who requested that I must also shoot videos for them. I'm glad people are showing interest in my content, and I'm going to continue. There's a lot that is installed. I'm going to give you everything that I know. Thank you very much. May God bless you. Continue watching my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. It will help us to go a long way in imparting knowledge to the people who need it. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.